So, welcome to today's discussion on life as a trickster in India. What it means for someone who has been living with trichotillomania for a while now. Personally, I've had mine for should be about 5 years now, and seriously, even though I try to keep it a secret and just keep the secret within my family members, it's not really that easy, and it's kind of embarrassing when you're sitting among your friends or your sisters and you're the only one either putting on wig because you don't have natural hair to plait or to beautify. You don't have your own natural hair. And even if you do, there are bald spots on your head, and it can be really embarrassing. While other people have their own beautiful, healthy, natural hair, you're covering yours because you have so many bald spots, and it's really can be really embarrassing. So that's just a summary of mine. Today we'll be interviewing, or will I say, just discussing with someone who has also been living with trichotillomania, and she'll be sharing some of her experiences with us so that we can also learn from her. All right. So we'll be starting in few seconds. Ma, are you ready for the question?
Yeah. First, thank you so much, Chinwe Yamaka, for inviting me to speak something about my trichotillomania. And I'm really feel overwhelmed to be here. And thank you so much. Yeah, good to go.
You're welcome, ma. So my first question here is, what's your experience with trichotillomania? Like, what has it been like? What's your experience with it, and how many years? How many years have you been with trichotillomania?
Yes. Actually, my experience with trichotillomania has been started from last 13 to 14 years. I am just suffering from this. And the experience was very much on and off with this disorder. And first, I want to speak something about trichotillomania, what it really means. As you all know, trichotillomania is the hair pulling disorder in which we have unresistible urge to pull the hair from the bald, from the scalp, from eyebrows, from eyelashes, or some other parts of your body. So what was my experience was it was very much on and off with trichotillomania. Sometimes it get better, sometimes it get worsened, sometimes it good, sometimes it bad. Sometimes hair is it started growing and then again I used to pluck. So like that on and off situation was there always. That is from last 13 to 14 years. It was worst experience with this disorder. And yeah, so this is my experience like.
Wow, 13, 14 years. That's been a long time. Though I've heard of
Yes.
people who send me messages that they've had their own since they were young, and now they're probably up to 30 or 40 years, and they've had that throughout their life. And I can't even imagine it. I can't even imagine the stress, the embarrassment, how it feels like to live with that kind of thing for 10 to 15, 20, 30 years. Mine is very 5 years, and I know how it's been for that 5 years. So wow, 13 years,
Yes.
14 years is a very long time. And I'm really hoping that we will actually find a solution to this, because it's really not easy as people think it is. When you tell people who have no information about this thing, they will tell you, stop pulling now, stop pulling your hair. But they don't know that it's really not
Yes.
that kind, it's not really not that easy to just suddenly stop pulling your hair. It's something that has been your
Yes.
habit for like more than 5 years, and not something you just wake up one day and suddenly stop. It's not that easy.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah. So our second question. Oh, you've already answered the second question. The question is, how long have you had trichotillomania? And you said it's 13 to 14 years. So and then I think you
Yes.
also hinted something about the third question, but I'm still going to ask you for emphasis sake. The third question is, can you remember how it all started? Can you remember how everything started? Like, personally, for me, I remember when I was done with my high school, I went to this fuel company, this fuel station, to work as a pump attendant. So the stress then, because I was still 14 years, and the stress of making money, working every day of the week to make money and also support my family and all that. I just suddenly just found myself pulling my hair as a form of stress relief. And plus I had this whitish thing at the tip of my hair, no, at the root of my hair. And I just kind of like fancy pulling that particular white thing out because I don't like it. And just from there, I don't know how everything just started. I just started pulling my hair, and I've been doing it like for a kind of a stress relief. Whenever I'm stressed, maybe I'm tired, I'm going through a lot is going through my mind, and sometimes I just find myself doing it unconsciously without even thinking. Before I realize what's happening, I've already pulled a handful of my hair. I already have bad spots, big ones there. So, so can you tell us how? Can you remember how everything started? Maybe is there something that's prompted you to start pulling your hair? How did it start? How did it start for you?
Yes, actually, I do remember very carefully. That was like in the mid of 2009 when I was doing my MBA, and I was in South India, and I was doing my MBA, and there it has been started like in mid of 2009. And there was like lot of pressure to be to be first and second in the class, and also the language issues are there, and also food issue was there. So many problems were there, as I was very much far from the Jharkhand, South India. So much pressure was there, and in that stress, remaining in the hostel when everybody else goes out for in the holidays and all, we are unable to come to our house, and we were unable to talk also. Because phones and all were not allowed. So these are all pressures that have led me to do all this thing. But initially, I was very much like one or two times, the frequency was not there, and I was just plucking one or two times a day, and it was not a big deal for me actually, because I was not knowing that time that I'm suffering from such kind of disorder. So it gradually it has taken the frequency has been increased, and the lot of pressure, like more pressure was there to be first and second in the class, and everything like going so many things in and around that time it has been started. So from that time, what I was feeling that time at first means I was really not knowing, and now like thanks to your platform, your podcast, and also the now after the corona era, after the corona crisis and all, we were like all digital and online, so we were getting like so much support and online groups to communicate, to share our story. But that time, like when I was in that is 13 to 14 years back, when it has been started for me, there was nothing. There was nothing, no platform was there for help and support, and we were not knowing that what was going on like with us. So that I was feeling was very worst actually. And soon and gradually, after 5 years, I came to know that I was suffering from such kind of disease. After my dermatologist actually told me first time that you are suffering from this hair pulling disorder. That time I came to know. I was not knowing, and I was hiding from my family and relatives. That was the thing.
Yes, I think that's common among people who pull their hair. It's usually from pressure or stress, mostly stress. And even if you search on Google, you see where they wrote that most people do it as a form of stress relief. So maybe you're going on through under so much pressure. It may not even be physical pressure, maybe pressure from the inside, pressure to do better, pressure to people want you to be, pressure to live up to your name or something like that. And because of that too much pressure, your brain will start looking for an escape route. You start looking for something to give it pressure, relieve itself from all the stress. And so I was saying that many of us don't know that it is going to result into this kind of big disorder, because if we knew back then, if we know what we know right now, back then we would also immediately look for solution to stop it when it was still small. For my own, I thought it just like you. I thought it was just something not a big deal, something that just comes and goes, because I don't do it maybe just once or twice. And before you know it, after 2 or 3 or 4 years, that's become a full-blown disorder. I just That's just how it is for most of us. So we're going to move to the next question, which is how did people around you, especially your family members, how did they react? How did they react to your trichotillomania? Mine, like,
Yes.
this is not something that is common here. though it's kind of like taboo over there, but here it's not something that is common. At first, my mom and my family members, they were having different opinion about it. People are saying, why am I pulling my hair? Maybe they think maybe it's because something I mostly I think initially I thought it's because I had itching dandruff on my hair. That's just making me pull out my hair. But then later, after the research, I realized that it's not really about the dandruff, that is something else. I've developed that kind of habit. But even after trying to explain to my family members, they don't really get it. People were like, "Are you possessed or something?" I got different chemicals, different products, different materials, all of these things to make it stop. Yes, it's not stopping, but up to now, they don't even understand what exactly is the problem. Only I in my family, only I understand what the problem is. And I'm really, really getting tired of explaining to them, because no matter how long how how I explain this to them, they can't seem to understand. You know this thing they say that
Yes,
you don't know how someone is feeling until you step into their shoe. So they don't really know exactly how it feels like, or how it's not so easy for me to just stop pulling my hair, because it's a habit that has been ingrained in my brain for over 5 years. It's not something that I just wake up and stop. Though I'm
yes.
reducing it, I'm trying to control it, but it's not something I just suddenly stop. So how did your family react to the trichotillomania? How did they and your friends too, maybe your spouse too, how did they react to it?
Yes, initially, actually, their reaction was not good. Actually, my family members and relatives were unable to understand that such kind of disorder exists, actually, because for them it's like it's not like treatable or the thing that needs diagnosis. It's a like they think it's a habit. If you are not engaged in anything, you are not busy in something, so it's the habit is there. So they are not understanding the intensity of the disease, intensity of the pulling disorder, because when they saw the piles of hair on my room, on my bedroom, in washroom and all that, so they used to say, don't think that much, don't pull your head. The thesis and the process they want me to understand was really means vague, means I am unable to understand their point and they are actually unable to understand. But I think so my parents, I don't think so ki, it's their fault completely. I don't think so it's their fault, because in India it's a big taboo here, and they are like not willing to understand all these things at the in the home and in the society, because talking about the this kind of mental health condition, it's very a social stigma here. So the thing is that the reason for connecting here also, it's like for me is like the parents and the children are also should be aware of this kind of disorder, that it is real and it can be manageable to some extent, and there are therapies and the processes involved, so it can be manageable and operated like to the mild thing, so to mild so that you can at least live your life like live your life to the full potential, right? So so like that's the same, like family members and relatives are still unable to understand. My family also like don't give that much like importance to this thing, and now they are getting a little closer to me after knowing all this. But still, like there are so many friends and relatives that I have just stopped making them understand, and actually that is the worst feeling for me. So that is the thing.
I think it's lack of information, though. I think it's lack of education, because I think if
Yes.
people have more information about what this thing is, and how it is not really our fault that we are indulging in this kind of disorder and this kind of behavior, and how we can also just put our heads together to find a solution to it. I think if they understand that this is something that happens just like a habit, just like some people that like picking their skin, some people that like
Hmm.
people that like people that are how will I say, people who are extremely neat, people who don't tolerate dirtiness, all this kind of habits. Just hair pulling is like another form of habit, just that it's something that you do to your body, it's something that you do to your hair, but it's not really something devilish, it's not something process. It's not something that is a taboo. It's just a habit like the others. But I think people need to be educated to understand what this thing is. If they are, they will understand that it's not really as bad as they think it is. So that's just my opinion
Yes,
about the trichotillomania thing. And so
yes,
we move to the next question so that we can manage our time. Next question here is, what
yes.
strategies have you tried to stop pulling your hair? Like what did you have you ever tried anything? Personally, I've tried a lot of things, and the things I tried, I wrote some of it in my book. I've tried like I've tried crazy things. I've tried wearing socks on my fingers, on my hand, so that it will not allow me to easily pull out my hair. I've tried wearing wig. There's
Mm-hmm,
something called hair wig, those black thing. That's I think that's the
mm-hmm.
one that if I rank it for the ones that is more effective, that one is the most effective one. But though it's effective, all right, but it still hasn't stopped me from pulling. So, and the next thing I tried also was I think applying oil on my fingers, on the tip of my fingers, because if you have oil, it will not be easy for you to pull because it will be slippery. Another thing I also tried is making sure that my hair is
Yes.
moisturized, and also apply cream and oil
Mm-hmm.
on it. It will make it harder to pull. But all these things, I've tried so many strategies, but that still hasn't stopped the main thing. And this is just what do they call it, medicine after death. Well, just it's just trying to stop the symptom, but there's an underlying root cause of the problem. And if you don't get to that root cause, we'll be unable to stop the main thing just from those hacks. But anyways, have you tried anything? What have you tried, and how effective has it been for you?
Yes, actually, I have tried multiple of things to stop this, yeah, to manage this thing, this disorder. Like the same whatever you have spoke, like I have also put the cream and lotion, Vaseline on my hand to not like go, so that it would be slippery and it won't go and on the scalp. And also I have also wore that gloves and all, hand gloves and all, so that I won't pluck. And then again, there's some kind of surgical cap I used to wear every time in the night, basically to like to stop so that I won't full. And apart from that, so many strategies like taking multivitamins and some lifestyle changes, meditation, yoga, many things like lifestyle changes also I have done to reduce it, and it has helped a lot actually. That we'll discuss later. But the hacks and strategies what I have tried was like multiple of things. And apart from that, so many like balls and all. You will be having some watch that can track, like it can vibrate, it can vibrate when you take your hand to the scalp. And apart from that, that ball, that smiley ball, I used to just squeeze it so that I won't take that hand to scalp. So anyhow, eventually it has not been helped that much actually, because me means gradually sometimes I just check on me, and that found myself plucking the same hair consciously or unconsciously. I was doing the same. And what lifestyle changes, like I have to recognize my triggers and also that, and also I worked on my mind and focus my attention towards something else, or like tying my hair every time to just cover my hair so that I won't see it and I will just not pluck it out. I have taken all therapies and professional help, so many chakra healing, past life regression, many things, whatever I can do, vipassana, meditation, and many therapies and all I have taken online also for this therapy and medication. That also after 5 years of my this thing, after 5 years of my yeah, this disease. Before that, I was not doing anything. I don't know how to proceed. I was just keep on just plucking my hair day by day, day by day. All bald spots can be seen. I was having very healthy and black hair, strong, healthy hair. In my home, everybody has like that, but I don't know what happened, and just gradually, and it's like it was getting worse and worse. So whatever hacks and strategies I have applied, it was effective, but that is also for some period of time. And then again, when stress triggered, I started again pulling. So and basically in the night time, when I am always alone and I don't have anything to do and I'm about to sleep, that time, that period is very tough for me every time, and that is the main time I am plucking. So that is the thing. So it's whatever strategies and hacks I have applied till now, I am pulling. And
Oh, I can relate to this. I can really. I've
yeah.
also tried some of the things you mentioned. You mentioned there.
Mhm.
I've tried so many of them
Yes,
too. They just work for a while and then it stopped. And I also noticed that I
yes,
do that a lot when I'm alone. When I'm alone, and was one of the strategies
yes,
I came up with was making sure that most of the time I'm with someone, because you won't want to do it when you with someone, to be embarrassing, something like that. But after
yes,
everything, when you finally alone, or even when you just have a little time alone, you just pull more than you would have done if you're with someone. So it's not really. I don't. It's only the strategies are only effective for a while, and then sometimes it becomes even worse because we're just trying to treat the
yes,
symptom and not the root cause of the problem. So no matter how the strategies we try, we still go back there, go back to the disorder, because that is not
yes,
actually the cause. It's not the root cause. So we move on to the next
yes.
question on my list. The next question is, how has living with no, next question is do you believe that there is a permanent cure to trichotillomania? I've watched an interview on YouTube, and two ladies that's been indulging for since they were teenagers. They were asked that question by the interviewer. They asked them, the lady asked them, do you believe that there's a permanent cure? Do you believe that you'll be free from this disorder one day? And they said no, that they don't believe it. So for personally, for me, I believe that there will be, or
Yeah.
there is already something, because I do a lot of research and I find something that I think will help. So I do believe that
Mhm.
someday there'll be a permanent cure to it. So do you believe the same? Do you believe that there's a permanent cure to it?
Yes, yeah, partially I can believe this, but I don't think so that much. I'm not convinced by this fact that permanent cure can be there for trichotillomania, because there is no one-stop solution for this, like any medications or any therapies. But yeah, there with the willpower and the right mindset, I think so it can be manageable. It can be operated at like mild and mild behavior, and like yes, for different people different strategies will applied, and maybe for some people it can be like of course fully cured maybe. In my case, like I don't think so, like I not that much convinced that there can be permanent cure. But again, with trichotillomania, it's like you can live with the trichotillomania with the manageable behavior. So yeah, so maybe in future, if we'll just unite, and we unite and just look for different strategies and research or findings and all, like advanced research findings, maybe some of the later we can find the ways to we can find our coping mechanism, our own coping mechanism, and then we can work on it, and then actually we can get the good results, I think so.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah,
Though I believe that if the thing was actually caused by stress, stress can be in
yeah,
so many forms. For someone whose trichotillomania is mostly caused by stress, relocating to a better environment, moving to a better environment, or relocating to a better country could also help with the relief.
yes,
And just it could you just be like a miracle, and something that you've been doing is just suddenly stopped it because you've changed the environment, you've left the toxic environment, the stressful environment, and you're in a peaceful and calm environment. So you may not really have that, though you won't just stop it immediately, but you won't have that urge to pull again, because you no longer stay in the place that really stress you or something like that. So I believe that
yes,
all of these things
very
are
true.
some of the things that might help. Another thing I believe that might be also
Yes.
helpful to this is um neuro linguistic programming. I don't know if you've heard of that. NLP.
Yes,
I've
yes,
heard
I
of
have heard. Actually, I am. Yes, I have actually. I have done NLP. So for that reason only, I have done NLP course, and I am NLP coach actually. So that is the reason I have done, because I want to work on my brain as well as on others' brain for success. I just want to rewire others' brain for success. So I have done that course because of this disease. Actually, this is a positive change in me.
Oh, all right, all right. So I also believe that
Yeah.
maybe in addition NLP and maybe adding some other things that can help, we can also like maybe even though it
Yes,
might not be
yes.
a permanent fix, but we might at least be able to arrive at the root cause of this thing, because most people don't really know
Yes.
what exactly is the cause. All right, so we'll move to the next question. The next question is, how has living with trichotillomania
Yeah.
changed the way you view yourself and the world? Like, has this changed, has maybe the experience you've had and the way people react to it and the way people react to you with the trichotillomania, how has this changed? Has this changed your world view? Anyhow or anyway? Personally, I think it has changed the way I view disorders, because if this didn't happen to me and I meet someone in the future who has trichotillomania and I'm not the curious type, I might actually react negatively to that person. I won't be able to understand what they're going through. But because of the extensive research I've done on trichotillomania and things I know now about disorder,
Mm.
I can be able, if I meet someone else who is going through
Yes.
another disorder, it may not even be trichotillomania. I'll be able to understand that person because I've been through one myself. So I can understand that this is a disorder and this is not something that the person just did themselves. This is something that are going through. I'll be compassionate. I'll be able to understand and have empathy. I'll be able to understand that person very well. I'll be able to understand them better. So how
Yes.
has it changed your worldview or the way you treat people?
Yes, yes. Actually, it has been like more to do with my behavior. Like my this trichotillomania has really changed my how I perceive myself as well as the world. Because like myself, like from so many years, I was like very much low self-esteem, low self-esteem. I was feeling always low, depressed. Maybe that is also the outcome of some because of this disease only, that depression and anxiety. So I was having very low self confidence, and apart from that I was unable to speak to anybody, interact with anybody. I have become very introvert in myself, and I was like really playing the victim game, kind of like I was always blaming myself for all this, and I was no self love was there for me, because I was not accepting myself in this condition, that why always me. Because like I have one brother, that is my own one younger brother. He is an engineer and scientist in US. Okay, and he worked in Tesla. Okay, so like that is the same. The like from the same mother we are born, but he is entirely different, and my emotional capability, my emotional quotient is very low. Like I react so much and I am very much emotionally unstable. So because of this trichotillomania, I feel myself very much means consumed, like emotionally very much invested. So like that I feel very weak. And apart from that, world perception is that yes, I see the world like I am only the victim and why it happened with me. So I have become very selfish in myself, and I just keep things to myself only. And seeing the world also, like I was very much very much become like for the world I was like nothing, for them I was nothing, for so much inferiority complex. So but yeah, it has been changed day by day, like gradually, and eventually now I understood that I have accepted myself like this, and I am good to go. Like I accept whatever things happened in the past, and I really want, I am the better version of myself now, and I am working on my full potential now, I think so. And I'm working and learning like to manage this stress, manage this disorder. But still I have not cured everything, and I am not like in hurry also to cure, because I don't think so I can cure this thing and all. So better to focus more on the controllable things. So I am just going with this thing.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, sorry, am I really the child of my mother? Am I really a part of this family? I mean, I was like, God, why? Why did this happen to
Yes,
me? Why is this happening to me? Things that I'm
yes,
just blaming. There was nothing to love about myself. Out of 6 children, I'm the
yes, yes,
only one who is different. I'm the only one who is going through this stress. It was just like a punishment for a crime that I didn't even know when I committed. And I was just 14,
yes,
and
yes,
just it was just too much for me to bear. It was later, I think about 2 years or 3 years down the line, that after they reset, that I started to accept that, wow, so I'm not
Yes.
really the only person going through this. It was like a whole new world
Yes.
was
Yes.
open to
Yes.
me. I realized that there are thousands of people outside of Nigeria that are actually going through this. Though many people are not speaking out about it, but
Yeah.
there are people who are going through that. I also even found a
Yeah.
group on Facebook that has over 1,000 members, and all of them had Chicotrina. I was like,
Yeah.
wow,
TSC.
so this is
TSC Foundation.
real,
Yes. Yes. From the same we
real.
connected. Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes. And then again, when I started sharing
Yes.
my
Yes.
story and I even wrote the book about it, I started seeing so many messages from Nigerians who are going through the same thing. But they don't, many of them, all of them, they don't understand
Yes.
what the
Yes.
thing is and how they can stop it, or they I had to start explaining to them this is what it's called. They said they don't even know that it
Yes.
even has a name. They thought it's just something that is happening to them. My last question here is, from your experience, what advice or advices or suggestions would you give to other people living with trichotillomania, people who will listen to this podcast episode in the future, people who will listen to it today or tomorrow when it's live? What advice or what suggestion would you give to them, especially when it comes to loving themselves, accepting themselves the way they are, and also looking forward to solutions or maybe just effective strategies that they can try? What advice or suggestion would you give to them?
Yes, yes. Actually, I will add one statement here. I will add one line here. Like, you are more than your hair pulling disorder, right? So you need to understand, like, you have to leave, just leave and don't exist, right? So you deserve peace and love from the world. So you should know the importance of self-love, and apart from that, you should start accepting yourself first, right? You should, like, it was one, like, whenever, like, what whoever is listening in different parts of the world, including India, I just want you to know that there is help available, and please search for it and open up for help for yourself. If you want to connect to me, kindly comment on the podcast. We'll surely connect to you one to one. And also, like, yeah, it was a, like, wonderful time with you, my host 𝗟𝗜𝗙𝗘, for giving me honor to speak my heart out here. And, like, yeah, and, like, thank you audience, and thanks for listening my story. But, like, this 13 14 years, I can't explain in one go. We are running short of time. So, like, yeah, but yeah, glimpses, you can get the glimpses of my story. So this is my part of the story. And thanks for listening, and love from India by Proud Trichester. Thank you so much, my co-host 𝗟𝗓𝗙𝗘. It has been great being invited here. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. This is my first time hosting someone to explain this with my audience. Thank you
Yes.
so much. We look forward to more. We
Yeah.
look forward to hearing from you again. We look forward to a time where it will no longer be a taboo in India. People can actually freely connect with other people with trichotillomania and talk about it freely like a human being. So we look forward to that too in Nigeria.
Yes.
We look
Yes.
forward to a solution, a better solution to it.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for coming on board. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us. We do not take that for granted.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Here also, I also feel very my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. We are all more than our hair pulling disorder. We are more than that. We are unique. We are special. That's what I believe.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
reason we have this so that we can
Cheers to
help
you.
others.